current thing going on in Iran. Well, I've seen you post quite a bit on Instagram about that. Are you taking a more active role than that? What's the importance of that to you?
So, going to Iran, it's a very, big topic. I can openly and freely talk about it because I'm never going back to my country, as I mentioned that before. If I would be right now talking about Iran and I would plan to go back to my country, I would get arrested and you wouldn't know again, or you might never hear, you wouldn't hear from me again. That is the Iranian government. Um, I talk about it openly and I motivate a lot of women because I came from that country. I was raised in that country, so I know what women are going through. And I decided to be the voice. Now that I have the platform, now that I can show the world what's going on in Iran, I am doing the best as I can. Right now, as you know, there's a lot of protest against the Islamic Republic of Iran for 44 years now. The dictators of Iranian regimes are dictating people. If you're a woman in Iran, you're not allowed to ride a bicycle. You're not allowed to ride motorbike. You're not allowed to go to the stadium. You are not allowed to sing. Basically, you're not allowed to live. So they have a morality police is standing on the side of the road. Can you imagine, as a woman, you're walking on a street, you're fully covered, and you're wearing a red lipstick, and they tell you, well, your makeup is too much and you have to remove it right now. And they take you to the morality police where they're based, and then they have these classes. They take you from the street and they take you to these classes for 2 hours, and you get beaten up, you get disrespected in front of everybody. It's just what they do to the mind of these people. It's not okay, it's not good. I mean, there is no human rights. And about 40 days ago, today is exactly 40 days that Mahsa Amini, the 22-year-old Iranian girl, with her family was visiting Tehran, and the morality police arrested her in front of her brother, and she was fully covered. She had a job. They arrested her, and then they said to her brother, come after 2 hours after the class and you can take your sister. After 2 hours, when they went there, she was announced brain dead. They took her to the hospital. She was announced brain dead. She was beaten to the point that she was brain dead.
It's insane.
This boils my blood. And this is not just one thing. And now Iranian governments are coming out saying that she had a history of brain injury and we did nothing to her. They're always covering up for everything that they do. They have shot over 300 people in Iran. This is what they're saying. If you hear they saying 300 people, you know it's 3,000 people. They shot people in cold blood in the streets of Iran just because they are protesting peacefully. A few days ago in Berlin, there was I think about over 80,000 people were on the street. I'm not sure if you saw it or not. There was 80,000 people, over 80,000 people, Iranian on the street, chanting against the Iranian government. And the Iranian government comes to the Iranian news and saying, putting all of these people on and saying, this is Iranian news, telling people, yes, in Germany, people are protesting because of a fuel price that has gone up. This is what they've been feeding to people for the past 44 years. And obviously since all the social media is happening and people are understanding more, they're realizing these guys are dictators. They are dictating us rather than being a good leader. So hopefully, I'm really hoping that there could be change. They are killing kids. They have gone to the school, the primary schools, and they have beaten kids just because they're chanting against the government. There was a kid, I think it was a 12-year-old girl. Last week, she died due to the police beating her inside the school where the kids have to be safe. And she died due to internal bleeding. I mean, can you imagine we living in the 21st century and the morality police, they go to the school and they beat kids and they kill them?
This is pretty horrible. This does explain why there's these intense revolts and all these kinds of things. I mean,
We have so much anger, you know, there is no more emotion. We just have so much anger. In Iran, people are angry. But as soon as they go to the street, they kill them, they shot them to death. They, you know, it's sad to say, they arrest these teenagers, the girls, 18-year-old, they rape them. There was a girl that she was arrested for 8 days and she was murdered by the morality police, by the Iranian government. And they came to the TV because people now were devastated. They came to the TV and the news said, yeah, she committed suicide. She was missing for 8 days. She committed suicide. She jumped off the building that was, and what they do to the poor family, they bring them to the TV and they force them to speak against themselves. Otherwise, they threaten them that they're going to kill their family members. That's how they do it. About last week, the same, they burned one of the biggest prison in Iran. They set it on fire and they burned people alive. And they said they did it themselves. So there is so much to talk about. There is so much for me to say, you know, about my country, about this beautiful woman, that they don't want this. If you remember about 40 days ago when all of this started, it was started with women, that they had enough, that they don't want to be quiet anymore. So I use my platform on Instagram and wherever I can, right now on your show, to talk about them, to say how brave these women are, knowing that they can get killed and shot and raped and be present. They still go to the street and chant against the Islamic dictator.
Well, yeah, it is brave. I mean, they're standing up against all this kind of corruption. They know the kind of prices that can, you know, it can happen.